Hello. It sounds like a horror film, but It Comes at Night is not your traditional horror flick. It could very easily have been a zombie movie, but writer-director Trey Edward Shults and producer Joel Edgerton were clearly aiming for something less conventional and more unsettling. After this, and Loving, it's clear that Edgerton is making interesting choices in the roles he selects to play. The film opens with a disorienting scene in which three people, unrecognisable and almost inaudible thanks to the old-fashioned gas masks they're wearing, wheel an elderly man, David Pendleton, with pronounced facial and bodily sores, into a wood and tip him into a prepared grave. The three masked characters turn out to be Paul, Edgerton, his African-American wife Sarah, Carmen Ejogo, and Travis, Kevin Harrison Jr., their 17-year-old son. The family are survivalists. They're living in a surprisingly large house in an isolated part of a vast forest. And they're living in fear because some kind of unexplained plague has apparently taken over the country. Victims come out in the kinds of sores we saw on the old man, who it turns out was Sarah's father, Bud. And they vomit nasty, black, gloopy stuff. Paul, heavily armed and extremely cautious, is determined to keep his family from being contaminated, and so they venture outside the house into the woods as little as possible, always accompanied by their dog, Stanley.
Well?
It's okay. Just go inside.
Dad, you got?
Yeah. What's he see?
Go inside. I'll take care of Stanley.
Hey, stop.
What's he see?
I said go inside. Stanley. Hey, settle down.
Travis! Stanley!
Travis!
Inevitably, their isolation comes to a precarious end with the arrival of Will, Christopher Abbott, his wife Kim, Riley Keough, and their small son Andrew, Griffin Robert Faulkner. The two families settle down into a somewhat uneasy exercise in cohabitation until, inevitably, the threat returns. After all, as Paul says early on, you can't trust anybody but family. I haven't seen Shults' first feature Krishna, but on the basis of this rather clever exercise in minimalist suspense, he's an interesting new talent on the American independent scene. He uses the corridors and confines of the isolated house to create a sense of claustrophobia and dread, and he gets terrific performances from his small ensemble cast. There are no unnecessary explanations as to the cause or the extent of the plague, and no backstories. It's a simple exercise in terror that avoids too much explicit violence, and it's a quietly impressive little movie. I'm giving it 3.5 stars.